witches, what's up? This is WhiteRaven over here. Today's Monday, so happy Magic Monday to all of you guys. Yes, I am under the weather. I'm not feeling very well, but that doesn't mean that I'm not able to do a video for you guys today. And this is something that has been in the back of my head since last week, because I showed you guys a picture of a little jar that I have in which I'm putting people that it's rubbed me the wrong way, or people that have been mean to me, or people that need a little bit of fixing. Not necessarily people that needs to be cursed, but people that need a little bit of adjustment. But before we go into this video, if you're new to this channel, I welcome you. My name is WhiteRaven, and I'm here to teach you witchcraft, what it is to be a witch from my perspective. If this is something that interests you, please make sure to hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every week. Witches, so much snow. So much snow. It was crazy yesterday, and it was not that it was that much snow, it was just the freezing rain. It creates so much havoc outside. Oh my goodness. And then you get everything is frozen. You cannot walk outside. You cannot walk your dog outside because everything is frozen solid. If you live in a tropical place, or if you live in a place that does not snow, let me tell you something. Snow is wonderful. I love it. I think it's beautiful. But the snow that we got yesterday and the freezing rain that we got at 9, that created a lot of nasty conditions for people driving. Thankfully, I don't have to drive. I don't have to go outside for anything. But you know, going outside in the backyard or in the front just to walk the dog is kind of hazardous because everything is ice, just ice. If you live in a tropical country, or if you don't have any snow right now, consider yourself lucky. It is nice to enjoy the snow, but sometimes it gets way too scary. Anyways, jars, witches, I'm going to share with you today some techniques for you to condition people. Not necessarily for us to hex someone, not necessarily for us to do something bad to somebody, but to condition someone. Sometimes in your daily life, you have to share your space with somebody else that maybe is not the best person to be around with, but they're probably not the worst either. There's just bitter people, people that just need just a little sweetening, maybe, or maybe some things that you can create to make a condition. This is not the same as hexing someone. This is not the same as cursing someone. This is for you to create a specific condition around you and that specific person. I shared with you guys the other day, I put a picture of my jar in my Facebook page and my Instagram page, and that is a jar that I'm going to have from now on, and I'm going to use that jar to put people in there. Maybe more than one people, maybe just one person, and I'm going to constantly manipulate that bottle with different type of ingredients to create a condition. Okay, and when I say create a condition, is to create some type of influence in the energy between me and that other person, or how that person relates to me, how that person relates to you. Now, many of us are surrounded by a lot of people on a daily basis, and it's usually, like for example, when at work, we are surrounded with different type of characters at work. And sometimes not all of them are in the same page that we are. Sometimes a lot of people do not cooperate with us the way we need them to cooperate. Not everybody's into a team effort or teamwork. Or maybe you just live with other people that are not in the same page as you are, and you need to create some type of condition without necessarily punishing this person of sending some kind of evil magic for that person to change. So we're going to create this condition jar. We can do 1,001 spells on a jar. I mean, the possibilities are endless for jar spells. But again, that's not what we're creating over here. So I'm going to share with you a few things that I will be doing and things that I can share with you that I suggest for you to try before hexing anybody. Try to create a condition around you and that person. For this, we're going to need some brown paper. If you don't have brown paper, white paper will do. And you know what? If you don't have any of these papers and the only thing that you have are sticky notes, then you use your sticky notes from work. The idea is for you to grab your piece of paper And in that paper, you are going to write down the name of the person that is aggravating you, or the name of the person that you want to create a condition upon. Just like this with your pencil. Many people is going to say that you have to write the name of the person 9 times in a paper. I got to tell you this. We're creating just a condition. I'm going to write the name of that person just 1 time. I'm going to open my jar and I'm going to put that paper inside that jar. So what we're going to do, which is we're going to add different ingredients depending on what type of outcome we want. For example, we can do condition jars for positive magic, not necessarily something bad. Let's say you actually like your coworker, for example, but this person needs to be sweetened a little bit. So what you can do, which is you can get some of your sugar and you can add some sugar into that jar. You cover your jar, you shake it up, and you let it sit. And every day you're gonna shake your jar until you feel that the condition has taken its place. The condition is actually working. You feel there's a condition already created between you and that coworker, for example. You put some sugar on it, so you sweeten that person towards you. Maybe you sweeten that person towards an idea that you have. Maybe you sweeten that person towards everybody else at work. Obviously, if you're doing this, for example, to create some type of conditions at work, you have to be very discreet. I strongly suggest for you to get a darker bottle, maybe not as obvious as this jar, but you can get something very small and you can carry that in your purse, and you can even put it in a drawer in your desk or somewhere. Whatever it is that is very discreet, that people is not going to know what you're doing with that bottle. Now, you can also use honey. Okay, now honey, just because it's so thick, is going to be something that is going to probably start that condition a little bit slower. But once that condition is started, it's going to really attach and ground itself to the purpose of what you want to do. Honey is another way for you to create a great condition if you want to sweeten somebody, if you want to add positivity into your workspace, into your living space, or wherever it is that you're sharing your life, your energy with somebody else that needs to be sweetened. Okay, witches, so now that we have our jar and we already talked about positive things that we can do to this person, let's talk a little bit about more negative things that we can create in our conditions. And again, this is not for you to be hexing people. This is for you to either teach a lesson or improve a certain energy around your gravity. Okay, and this could be at work, this could be at home, or this could be wherever it is that you share your space, your energy with other people. Okay, and they can affect your daily life. It happens a lot. You will think like, what is she talking about? But it does happen a lot. If you're working every day, your coworkers become your family. Okay, and sometimes some of your coworkers could be extremely toxic, and sometimes they deserve to be slightly, you know what, I don't want to say punished, because that's not what I'm trying to say. This is not the purpose of this conditioning jar video that I have for you guys today. But some people need a lesson. Okay, even it's like, you know, when you were little and you did something wrong and your mom spanked you, just a little lesson. It's like, hey, wake up and smell the coffee. This is not nice what you're doing. You need to turn your attitude around. This is not working out. Now that we have your name inside the jar, there's some other things that you can use. One of my favorite things to use, and this is something that I have shared with you guys before, is either poppy seeds or black mustard seeds. In this particular case, I have poppy seeds over here. And what poppy seeds do is they confuse people. If you actually want to make somebody look stupid, this is what you are going to use. You can put the name of the person in your jar, and you're going to add some of the poppy seeds. Once you have those poppy seeds inside the jar, you're just going to shake it up. And every time you think that person has, listen, let me just make a little pause in here. Like, how many of us have this one particular coworker that is so overconfident. They think they know it all. They ask no questions. They're just arrogant. They think they're better than you. They think they can do things better than you, and then they know it all. When you know in reality that they don't. On the opposite, they make a lot of confusion for people. They make a lot of messes, and then you're probably the one cleaning up all the mess that the other person created. If you want to give somebody a lesson and make that person humble, make that person look stupid, make sure that in your jar with the name of the person, you're going to add some poppy seeds of some black mustard seeds, shake it up as needed, and you're going to tell me another story. If to the opposite, you actually need that person just to move away, just to leave, then instead of adding poppy seeds, you're going to put in your jar either hot Tabasco sauce, or I like chili flakes. And notice, witches, I am not giving you any type of specific powders or magical powders or magical oils. I'm telling you about normal things that you can go to the supermarket right now and get. Okay, so if you want that person to move and leave your surroundings, it's a toxic person that should not be in your house. It's a toxic person that should not be in your group of people. If it's a toxic person that should not be at work, there you go. Some chili flakes, put it in your jar, shake it as needed, and bye-bye. Now, some of the spells that I really like to perform are freezer spells. And I have a few freezer spells videos over here in my channel that are very popular. But let's say we cannot freeze this person. You want to have this jar by you all the time. Let's say this is a jar that you leave at work, or this is a jar that you cannot put in the freezer because you live with more people and you don't want anybody to actually notice what you're doing. So there's nothing better than pickle juice, which is pickle juice is going to do to that paper the same thing that a freezer spell is going to do to the paper. So pickle juice is going to stiffen that person. It's going to slow that person down. It's like freezing that person to slow down a little bit. So if you have somebody around you that is driving you crazy and you need to slow down, you need to freeze, but you cannot do a freezer spell, make sure in your jar you create that condition by adding some pickle juice. If you want to turn situations around, then you're going to put a little bit of ammonia in your jar. Now be very careful with ammonia. Ammonia smells really bad. You can get the ammonia that smells like lemon. Ammonia is not something that you're going to be carrying around. So if you can put a little bit of ammonia in a container, and wherever you're performing this condition jar, just add a little bit of ammonia. You do not need a lot, this is very symbolic, okay? And then you just put that little bit of ammonia, you shake it up, and if you can turn the bottle upside down without the bottle leaking, then that's exactly what you're going to do. If you want to turn situations around, add some ammonia into your jar and turn it upside down. Next is going to be your handy dandy vinegar, which is vinegar is going to sour somebody's life. If you have somebody around, again, I'm not telling you to curse people or hex people in here. This is for when people actually need some type of lesson. So if you need to sour somebody else's life momentarily, just make sure you add some of that vinegar inside your bottle, shake it around, show it somewhere in your drawer at work, in your drawer at home, or wherever it is that you're sharing your space with more people. Just a little bit of vinegar. Nobody needs to know. Nobody needs to know. The last thing that I'm going to share with you is a little bit more harsh, and we're going to be using water. But this is for when somebody that has done something to you that had probably jeopardized your work, your employment, or has jeopardized peace and harmony at home, or have jeopardized, if you're in some type of team, your team peace, your team harmony, your team energy. This is when you are going to do harsher stuff. There's people that, you know, you warn and you warn and you warn, but then at the end they really need to move on. I will definitely, witches, if that's what you want, I will do some chili seeds with the name in the jar. And I also will put just a few drops of war water. Now, witches, war water is going to make this person feel the wrath of your anger. And the way this person is going to feel it is by feeling some type of guilt, some type of anxiety, some type of, in Spanish we say la perse, like persecution. You know, you are like always like watching us, like what's going on, you know, somebody's watching me, I did something wrong. The person's gonna feel guilty. Please make sure you don't use this lightly. This is legit borderline now cursing, and I'm not trying to do any type of curses with conditioning jars. I want you to understand that in life, there's things we can fix by just creating conditions, the right conditions, not necessarily by hexing people. You can change things around by creating the right condition. And a paper inner jar is one of the best way for you to create condition magical workings. And that's it, witches. Thank you so very much for being here with me one more Monday. I really apologize. I am feeling under the weather, but you know what? I really needed to share this with you guys. I miss you and I'm not with you. I want to say thank you very much for everybody that's been supporting my website, WhiteRaven.com. There's a lot of fun things coming up. A lot of fun things coming up, and I'm really excited to share all this stuff with you. I'm reading this beautiful book right now, and I'm going to be doing a review on it pretty soon. Remember to email me if you have any questions at lairofthewitch@yahoo.com, and I'm in Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. You can find me anywhere. It is always awesome talking to you, witches. Remember, you must stay very smart, witches. But above all, you must stay very, very wicked. Bye.